incomprehensible.
How many times have you sat there in qualifying and somebody goes, I don't know, 225 instead of 231? And you sit there, look at your buddy and go,
I know.
Oh, they suck. Oh, they're so slow. Get off the track. And they're going 225 miles an hour, which is ridiculous. I mean, it's all relative. It's literally it's about one football field every second.
Yeah.
Is how fast they're going.
Yeah.
And what if they're going 225 compared to 230 average for 10 miles technically, 4 laps. I mean, it's still a shit
it's faster than shit. But I will say this. I was out there when Ari did the fastest unrecorded lap ever, 237.
Yeah.
Right.
So he did 250 miles an hour
on the straightaway.
Into the first turn.
Into the turns.
And then you got to turn left.
Yeah.
And everybody goes, well, it's what... How can you watch this racing? It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. And what these guys... When you're out there, sadly, I've been out there a few times when somebody is perished, and it brings it into focus that these guys aren't
dangerous as hell.
They're not football players. They're not basketball players. They're not they're not any other sport athlete. These guys, girls can literally lose their life.
Yeah,
just like that.
You think nothing about it when they go by you, and then several years ago, Scott Dixon.
Yeah,
spun in turn one and turned upside down
and should have
and almost hit his head on the inside guardrail.
Yeah.
I mean, he literally would have probably decapitated himself.
Been done
in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
and we're sitting there watching it in turn two.
Yep,
going, oh man, that's a serious wreck. Type of thing.
But,
I mean,
but also I think people minimize the danger to the spectators as well, because we've also had incidents where wheels have flown up into the stands.
Adam Wheeler?
Things like that.
What's he doing in
we
stands?
didn't say anything about Adam Wheeler.
Oh, you said wheels. Sorry.
Yeah.
You actually said wheels.
But
I bet he would fly up in the stands.
Car parts flying off.
It's always interesting to me because
I
go to a lot of racing events, so 500, go to the drags, things like that. But there's always that disclaimer on the ticket,
like RuPaul's drag thing.
Yeah.
No
shit.
What?
It always says you're not. They're not responsible for injury.
You can have whatever you want on the ticket. If you got good lawyer in though,
absolutely,
you're gonna get your money.
But when you stop, but
I might need a good lawyer.
And think about the fact that they have to put that on the ticket for people to think about it.
I mean,
it's kind of like it's kind of like caution hot on the coffee cup.
No,
we were out there for qualifying one year. It's probably been late '80s, and can't remember the guy's name.
Drink up
in a red car.
Gordon Smiley.
No, that was my first time ever at the racetrack.
Oh,
Pat Bedard
was Gordon Smiley.
He didn't die. He wrecked a lot.
But anyway, so the guy they were practicing for qualifications early in the morning. Guy came into the first turn. That's where we were sitting. Hit the wall. A part of his car flew off.
Oh, Stan Fox.
No, this was during qualifications.
Okay, sorry.
So, Rich wasn't Rich Vogler.
Nope,
wasn't Rich Vogler.
Nope.
But anyway, a part of his car came through and hit a support that was holding the stairs before you go down and bent that thing. I mean, you could clearly see where something flew off that car, went through the fence, and bent the support of the stairs. And it's just like, man, if that got in the stands.
You remember the whole reason they raised the outside retaining wall is Roberto Guerrero. Because he came around and hit the wall with his right side of his car, and his head actually hit the top of the outside concrete retaining wall.
Jesus.
So they raised the retaining wall, and then one of the best things they ever did was that they call it the safer barrier. It's not they were very careful not calling it the safe barrier. It was safer, and it stands for something. It's an acronym for something. It's an
absorbent barrier.
But they hit that thing now, and that's on almost all racing.
I think
tracks
I saw that the anniversary of that was like 15 or 20 years ago that IMS put that in. And Brad Keselowski, who's a racer in NASCAR, said, "Thank you, Tony George," because
they were pioneers.
It was the IMS and Purdue engineers that came up with that.
Came out and did that.
The
NASCAR
steel and energy reduction
I thought it was
barrier.
Nebraska.
There you go.
No, I'm pretty sure it was Purdue and
That's all good.
IMS. I might be wrong, but anyway,
Stealing
NASCAR took full credit for that.
Of course.
They were the ones that came up with
NASCAR,
that.
man.
So
it was designed by a team of engineers
From
Midwest Roadside Safety Facility and the University of Nebraska.
Nebraska, yeah.
Damn, you were right.
That's what
You
I-
were right.
That's what I was thinking.
98 to 2002.
No,
Damn, Brett.
I thought
It was
you were right.
installed at the Motor Speedway in May of 2002.
So
Okay.
it was 20 year
I'm going to say this.
I was right about that, but not where the School of Engineering came from.
There's people that go to races.
Yeah, just to watch carnage.
They want to see that.
They want to see a wreck.
They do. And I will say, we've all been there. When a wreck happens, the crowd.
That's the first thing you do,
It all
is
stands
you're like, oh,
up.
what happened?
And like, if you don't see it, you're looking to the right, and somebody's like, oh.
So I used to be like that in my younger years. I was like, oh yeah, cool, that's a wreck. Well, now, I mean, I'm to the point now where I'm like,
Uh-oh.
darn it,
Yeah.
guys,
Let's-
figure this out.
Can you get
Somebody's
out of the car?
gonna get hurt.
Right, yeah.
Well, but I also think there's an element to that of people that follow racing in general that they
I'm a beer behind.
they kind of thrive in that environment. But I remember when I was a kid, and I don't remember which race it was. We sat in the main straightaway, and there was a fire in pit row. And the amazing thing about that fire was that you can't see the flames.
Yeah.
Right.
Because when it burns,
Right.
it burns so hot. You don't.
methanol.
You don't see
Yeah.
the flames.
That makes it very tough to roast s'mores.
Everybody was like watching this and seeing everybody freaking out because of it, but you don't even realize exactly the impact of what's going on. So I think that's part of racing.
Well,
That's just the part of racing that nobody
Watch
understands or thinks about.
watch the Stan Fox wreck at the
Oh, my
Indianapolis
gosh.
500.
Right.
It happened
Oh,
right
yeah.
in front of us, and we literally saw the guys the nose
was-
of his
that was one of the
car
worst.
cut off and his legs
His feet.
dragging on
Right.
the wall.
Yep.
As he went by
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
You don't want to see wrecks.
You don't want to see
don't.
that.
No, you don't.
That was one of the worst wrecks.
Oh, it was
ever.
And
terrible.
honestly, I think
Ever.
it's almost a pet peeve to sit in the stands as somebody who enjoys going to the race, enjoys what's going on, and sitting next to somebody who is waiting for that.
Well-
They're hoping that happens, and when they start talking, oh, I hope I see a wreck. And you just
You don't want to see it.
you don't want to see it. You just don't
No.
because it doesn't always end well.
Yeah, I'll agree with almost all that statement unless they show you their titties.
Okay.
But
I don't want to see
I
Danica
don't wanna-
Patrick's
I don't
titties. Trust me.
So she's dating Aaron Rodgers? Is that
No, that's over and
used-
done.
oh,
That's,
is that
that's,
gone?
that's
Done a long time
yesterday's
ago.
news.
Oh, is it old news? I don't
Yeah.
know. Somebody mentioned it the other day. I don't know.
Yeah.
I saw some.
I think my current wife mentioned it the other day.
Look, we
Got it.
got to do a different version where we just talk about things that are great about the track because there's 100 and
Oh, there's five. There's a million things.
Oh,
that,
we've
that
got
are,
we've
that are
got
good.
4 weeks to talk about this.
okay.
That's the best part.
That's
is
what
it-
she said.
So traffic on the way home, right? I mean,
Sucks.
now we're all from the west side. West side.
What's say?
So we know our way around. I have gone
I used to be.
down many side streets. Just go to the bathroom and hurry up. I've gone down many side streets of the west side because I know my way around. So the cops are trying to point you a certain direction, and you're just like, no, screw it.
that's
I'm going
not-
down this
nah, I'm
street.
going down
If
this
there's
road.
not a barricade on this street, I'm going down this street because that's the direction I know I can get home.
Yep.
So, but traffic, you would think after over 100
100
years,
years.
you would think that they would have this traffic shit figured out, and they still don't.
Well, they shut down Georgetown Road, so
Yes, they did. Yeah, you cannot.
dead ends into the
I would
nothing.
actually say I hear the frustration. I would actually say for getting 300 to 400,000 people out,
No, I hear you, and I
they're
get
probably
it. I
doing
get
an
it.
okay job.
Yeah.
But hey, you've been working on this for years
Right,
and years.
right.
Now, part of this frustration also, and we all know this because we've mentioned it before. I've worked at the track for so long. At the end of a day, and it's the end of the month, and I
You
see
work
the
every-
light. I see
you
the
worked
light
every day that month.
The light at
by
the end of the
way.
tunnel, and I'm like, this is race day. All I want to do is get home get to my family, some of my family and friends who are in town for the only time they come to town all year. I want to get to that party. I want to get to that fun. I want to get out of work. And I'm at the end of the day, and I can't freaking even move my car.
All you want to do is see some titties.
All I want to do is zoom, and my boom, boom. Just shake the rope. That's all I wanted to do.
That's it. And there's nothing wrong with that. That seems perfectly logical.
And as I'm sitting on the second floor of the
I'm not
admin
driving
building,
home, boys.
looking out the window, I'm like, I can't even get in my car right now and go home. And it's now almost 3 hours after the race, and I still can't leave.
Because your car is stuck in that roundabout right by the track.
Yeah.
Hey, look, kids, Big Ben, Parliament.
But as part of that, though, you also had the opportunity to go to races in other areas, other states, other cities that were putting on
Other
races.
venues.
I did.
Other venues.
Yes.
So, do they have it any better?
Some do, yeah. Some are right by interstates.
But do they have the crowd
Chicago's
that
horrible.
Indy has crowd?
No, and
But
that's
they
And
also
I think
don't-
that's the thing. So we went.
Other-
we were at St.
They
Petersburg
also don't have
last year.
350,000 people
Right.
there.
And, I mean,
Other
we were
than
at St.
Daytona.
Peter.
I
We were at St. Petersburg
50.
last year.
It used to be Speedway
And it wasn't
grew
that
to
bad.
Speedway used to grow to the top 20
Oh, absolutely.
population city
Right.
on that day, on race day. Yeah.
Right.
Like in Indiana or in the
In the
U.S.?
country.
US.
Speedway, Indiana.
Wow. Okay.
Back
Didn't realize
back
that.
in the 70s, 80s, maybe early 90s when they get
400
350, 400 in there.
packing it
Yeah.
in.
They estimated it close to 500,000
Yeah.
back in the 70s, 80s.
Absolutely.
When it's close to like 300,000 seats, plus another 200 or so
That you could
in the infield.
Pile in the infield.
Because the infield was general admission. So general admission, they would never sell out
So is that a pet peeve?
what?
that there's no...
There's no more. Well, there's still general admission.
Yeah, but the infield isn't what the infield used
No.
to be.
it's not.
That's a pet peeve. I think that's a legit pet
the
peeve.
I
racing-
would almost go there.
But
Yeah,
the
I'm with
people,
you.
the people that were
In the
following
infield.
racing back then aren't following.
But-
yeah, I mean, there was a
No,
bigger
but
following back then.
I agree.
What
But,
do you mean by that? Oh.
well, because when you think about doing the Indy 500, okay, and you think about doing that on the cheap, don't think about it as a 50-year-old kid that can
I'm getting
afford
a
a ticket to the
regular beer,
race.
finally.
You know what I mean? Think about it when you just went because you enjoyed
That's
going
heavenly.
every year. And that infield was invaluable because it was cheap to get in.
$10.
Didn't cost much to get in.
You're at the Indy
lined up-
500.
You lined up the night before. You got in that line.
Thursday night they lined
Yep.
up.
You got in that line. You sat in that line for days
You
on end.
camped inside.
You camped inside.
From Thursday night on.
You could
Cannon
do
goes off.
What are
the
you talking
cannon
about?
goes off. You get in. You,
You couldn't
do all
camp
that
inside
stuff.
the track.
No,
Yes, you
you
couldn't
did.
camp
No, you
inside. You could
No, you
camp in your
couldn't.
car
You
in
couldn't.
line.
You could get in line.
You
You
get in
couldn't
line.
camp inside the track.
And you camp in
couldn't.
your car
on the
but-
street.
Yeah, but
In the North 40.
you would line.
That's not
you
inside the
couldn't-
track.
That's not inside
That's not
the track.
inside the track.
That's
Man,
outside.
I'm pretty sure.
No.
On Friday,
I'm telling you.
Friday night before the race, I'll ask my business partner. He did it all the time.
Hang
Do
on,
it.
your current business
my
partner?
current business partner.
Sure.
Man, they'd open that gate and you'd see those vans and trucks beat the shit out
From
of
the
each
North
other.
40, outside the track,
Outside the track.
go underneath the tunnel, the north end,
Once
Going in
once
the
the
tunnel.
cannon
inside.
went off,
To
once
go-
the cannon went
you
off,
go inside.
to go inside the track.
That's why
I'm
they
telling
lined
you.
up the night
Okay.
before to go
Okay.
in the infield.
There's three of you telling me I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Okay.
No, the infield.
Thank you.
They would line up on 16th Street.
Yeah.
And they couldn't get in until Sunday morning.
Right.
So they would start lining up Saturday afternoon.
yeah,
Yes.
6
And you
a.m.
would get in
cannon
that
goes
line,
off,
and then the
You can
cannon
go
goes
in.
off. They open the track. You go in. You find your spot. You set up camp. Blah blah blah. That's all gone.
Yeah. And you think
honestly,
you
I
think you
think
got it
that's-
perfect, and then some bitch is like,
If you're
I'm gonna go right in
our
front of you.
age, if you're our age, that is going to the 500.
But back
That
then-
is the
We never did
nostalgia
that, though.
of going to the 500.
You never did that, did you?
I did.
I did.
multiple times.
Hang
Yeah,
on. Race
several.
morning?
Yep.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
Oh,
yeah.
stop.
At 6
Yeah.
a.m., the bomb go off, and or was
Yeah.
that 5 a.m.?
We were up at like 2 a.m. to get in line.
in
go
line.
in. Yeah, multiple
Yeah.
times.
and go
Yeah.
grab a fence spot.
For
Yeah.
Absolutely.
General Mission?
for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I never knew that.
So the closest I could
That's because you
come.
were working there.
It sucks.
few-
Had I known somebody worked at a track, could have got me some tickets. That'd been fantastic.
I
shit.
I don't know anybody. No.
Probably about 10 or so years ago, the closest we could come was we did the North 40 thing. We got there early in the